Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming here to do another recap video. Now, y'all were expecting me a little bit later. It's not Monday yet to recap 90 Day Fiance and Love in Paradise, Happily Ever After and all that. But I feel like I needed to come on here and to discuss Married at First Sight Season 17, the Denver reunion. Actually, the whole season, but mostly this reunion. And I just want to say, I stopped covering Married at First Sight because for two reasons. One, for the last two seasons, the episodes have just they're longer than 90 Day Fiance. Like, the season has just gone longer. None of the couples really made it. There wasn't no good love stories like there has been in the past and stuff, or hope and stuff. This season was just the worst season. This was the worst cast in history. We found out some things during this reunion that I'm gonna get into in a minute. And it was just ridiculous. I'm just like, you know what? I gotta talk about this. So let's just start. So just to do a little quick recap of the season, our couples were Emily and Brennan, Becca and Austin, Claire and Cameron, Lauren and Orion, and Michael and Chloe. Now, Michael was paired with somebody else originally, but we had another thing. We had a runaway bride at the beginning of the freaking season. And so he was given a second chance. And so basically throughout the season, like Lauren and Orion, they were the first couple to get divorced early in the season. They had a difference of cultural opinions and stuff, difference when it came to intimacy, and neither one of them knew what they wanted. Then the next couple was Claire and Cameron. Cameron, like on the honeymoon, had got a heart condition, and he was basically MIA for most of the season because of him recovering from surgery and everything and whatnot. And I guess he wanted to be alone, and him and Claire weren't getting along at that point either. Becca and Austin, they both said yes on decision day, but there was some craziness that happened like immediately after decision day that I'll get into in a minute as well. And then there was Emily and Brennan. Brennan was just the worst, and Emily was very immature. So, in this reunion, throughout the season, there was a big divide between the boys and the girls. Like, the girls had their own pack, and mostly four out of the five girls had their own pack, and same with four out of the five guys. So, it was a lot of he said, she said. So I'm just going to start after decision day. After decision day, all the couples had gotten together. And we'll start with Becca and Austin. Throughout their season, they had issues with intimacy. I guess when they were at the retreat, Austin wanted to sleep in the bedroom where former Denver Bronco player Von Miller slept. And when they said yes on decision day, Austin decides to go out, and he's hanging out with, Cameron and stuff, and Brennan or whatever. And I guess he was also hanging out with a producer that was helping them throughout the relationship, and Becca didn't like that. And he didn't invite Becca that night. And so Claire had texted Becca and said that they're out there and he's with this girl and stuff with the producer, and she calls him out on it, and he flat out lied to her face about it. So they just decided to break up after that. Then there was a lot. I guess Emily hooked up with this Australian guy when her and Brendan's relationships were on the rocks and stuff and everything. And whatnot. And so it was just a really messy season. And so now I'm going to talk reunion. Last week in part one, Claire and Cameron basically kicked it off. Cameron made the accusation to Claire that on their honeymoon that I guess Claire told him that she was still in love with her ex and they were just together not too long before the process started, something like that. And Claire was like, you're lying and everything. I mean, there was a conversation about it, but it wasn't like that. I don't know. And I'm not going to go into the back and forthness, but the main thing about it is that the big topic of this whole thing is that apparently there was a pact made, and Cameron was the center of that, because he was really before even after the wedding was not into Claire. And they just wanted a way to get out of the situation, and the girls went along with it to protect their husbands or protect themselves or something like that. And by doing that, they deceived the process, disrespected the process and the experts along the way. So throughout this reunion, every time, the girls, I'm going to tell you another thing, the girls in the reunion, with the exception of Chloe, the other four girls all decided to come out in pink. To declare how strong women they are and everything. Because they can't stand their husbands, they really couldn't stand their husbands, so they decided to come out in all pink to represent how strong we are. Good for you and everything. Now, Kevin Frazier, the host, he had his hands full on this reunion. Every time when the group was out as a whole, it was, like I said, girls versus boys, with the exception of Mike and Chloe. And every time the guys spoke, the girls were like, "Oh, you're lying. And okay. And one girl in particular, Emily. And I'm going to talk Emily. Now, her and Brennan's marriage was terrible. I couldn't stand Brennan. He was very rude. He was controlling. He was telling her to cut off the cameras or to cut off the diary cams or whatever throughout the season. He just looked like this. Yeah. You told me this and that. And when he would be with the experts with Dr. Pia, he would be cutting her off. He liked to cut people off a lot. He's like, and Dr. Pia was like, I'm talking to Emily. Don't need you to talk for me. I'm talking for Emily. Later he did apologize for that, but still. But Emily was the worst in this reunion. Throughout the season on After Party, when she was invited to an After Party, her and Keisha and Naipool got into it multiple times, with just the antiques and Emily, when they're asked a question and Emily doesn't like it, she gets an attitude with them. And Keisha had to check her one day and say, "Look, I am not the victim here, and I'm not the problem, So explain to me what's going on here." And she tried to do that with Kevin. Emily is very immature. Remember, and I did an early season view a while ago. Emily has never been in a relationship, and she comes into a marriage. For the most part, I will admit she did well for her marriage because her husband was terrible. But in the reunion, since she hates her husband so much, she was flicking him off behind his back and stuff. All the girls were in the room saying, "Oh, we're strong. Oh, we're strong." The guys are just like, "Let's just go do this," and stuff. Emily and Brennan, they talked to Kevin, and every time they talked, it was just it was basically World War III. It was like, "You're lying. I don't believe anything you said, blah, blah, blah." And Brennan was like, "This is just all the toxicness, the manipulation and stuff and everything." And she even called out Kevin because Kevin wasn't taking Claire's side on some of the things with her and Cameron and Brennan's antiques and optics and stuff. And Kevin was like, "Look, you yelling at me is not changing anything here. All of y'all disrespected the process. All of y'all went along with it and everything." And I just want to say this to Emily, then I'll move on outside of her. When you're on a TV show, do not be disrespecting the host. The host is there. They're getting paid. The host is there to ask the tough questions. You knew that you're gonna have to go through these questions when you signed up for the show. You don't disrespect the host. You don't disrespect Keisha, and you don't disrespect Kevin. And I just had a big thing about her doing that and stuff. She could mope and cry, get an attitude all she wants. She had like all these facial expressions and stuff. It was just childish. This whole thing was childish. Now Becca and Austin, like Becca was just like, I don't know if he wanted the marriage with me and stuff and everything. And like, I'm not going to go into, like I said, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of what like they were discussing. The only thing I can sum it up by saying they were all deceitful, and it was a lot of he said, she said. I don't believe none of them. None of them. All 8 of them. 8 of the 10 of them. I don't believe none of them. I think the thing is that none of them wanted to really be married. They all looked for a way out, and they just came up with this plan just to make themselves look good on TV, and it just made them look bad and stuff. Throughout the season, after Lauren and Orion got divorced, they tried to become friends. Then they would get into an argument. Then they would try to become friends. Then we get into an argument, and Lauren said that her and Orion are not friends or don't want to be friends. Okay, cool, whatever. We definitely know Claire and Cameron are not friends. Now, throughout this episode, both Cameron and Austin had gotten sick and like left the studio for a little bit, but then came back, which was kind of odd because like Austin left and he shaved and came back. I guess he had a stomach problem, and Cameron, he has that heart problem, just was just like, he was like being attacked the whole time. And he's trying to say, I didn't say this like this. I didn't say this like that. This is what I said. This is what they did. And, like I said, the girls were like, oh, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying and stuff. And like we got nowhere. We got nowhere. So Michael and Chloe, now they were the lone bright spots of the season. Like I feel bad that they had like a late start, and Chloe did not wear the pink like the rest of the girls did, but they had a late start, and their marriage seemed to be going really well. Like I was like, come on, Michael and Chloe, save the season, because this is just ridiculous. We get to their decision day. Chloe says yes. But Michael shocked us and said no. And I'm just like, bro, like why? He claims he just wasn't ready as he thought he was. Then he gets the reunion and says like, I regret it. And Chloe's just like, I appreciate it, but it's too late now. But at least Michael and Chloe, they're cordial. There's no animosity or hatred. Like they even said that I'm glad that like we weren't part of whatever they got going on. So, oh my God, guys! Now this is why I stopped covering Married at First Sight throughout the season, because I caught on to the deceitfulness and the lies and the manipulation. It was just painful for me to watch. It was painful. This reunion was painful. I felt so bad for Kevin, but I had to give Kevin credit. He handled it perfectly. He called people out on their baloney, and it was just, I don't know, that episode made my blood pressure go up. I'm telling you, it made my pressure go up. Now, so I was reading through social media. Now, we still got one more episode of Married at First Sight, which is the Where Are They Now special. Apparently, judging by the previews, Chloe is no longer friends with Lauren, because I guess Lauren started following Michael on social media, and I guess Chloe got out like irate about it, so we'll figure out what happened with that next week. Emily and Claire, they're buddy, and even I want to put in another thing in this reunion. When they came out back all the set before the final segment, like Brennan was just sitting on stage on his phone. The guys just came out there just sitting there minding their own business. The girls came out and just like just told him, don't even look up. All y'all should have your heads down and stuff. Like, and Kevin was like, guys, can we please have a conversation, please, without all this battering? Basically, I want to have an intellectual conversation. Like, please, like, who do those girls think they are? Just gonna come in and say, all y'all need to have your heads down and stuff. Like, y'all ain't no teachers. And let's not forget this. Claire is a therapist. I feel like she about to lose her job after this season is over. No offense. She about to lose her license and everything. And Becca is a wedding photographer and stuff. So I didn't forget those things. So it was just, like I said, I'm not going into the whole battering back and forth or who started the plot to get out of this like they were doing the entire night, because we got nowhere. The experts did come out and they talked to both genders separately and everything. And, they said their piece and everything. And the experts were like, well, y'all should have came to us, basically. And this is the things that we don't want happening on the show and everything. I'm glad they were at least like cordial with the experts and stuff compared to everybody else. But they tried that. There were times in both parts of this reunion where they tried to be like say, I'm sorry, can we move on and stuff? But it just, they would do that. But then when the whole group comes, like they're back, you're lying, I don't believe you, yeah. And it's just like, you all of y'all are hyping each other up. And it looks like Emily and Claire, like Lauren like tried to stay out of it, but she's part of it too. But it really, Emily and Claire have a big alliance together right now and stuff, and Lauren and Becca are just like right behind them and like that. And like I said, I just don't believe anybody. There was all deceitfulness. Now, the only thing I'll feel bad for with Emily is that she did have like a big accident, on the ATV accident on the couples retreat, and got rushed to the hospital, had stitches and stuff. And she was a trooper. She fought through that. So, with everything, we're glad people are okay. But with this experience, but that doesn't change her behavior. She had the worst attitude. She acted so immature, and it was just cringeworthy. And so, like I said, I don't know who these girls think they are, but that was, I'm sorry, I just had to get on here and say this. So, yeah, so like I said, we got one more episode. I went on Kevin Frazier's Instagram, and from last week, he asked like his fans like what y'all think of the reunion, first part of this crazy reunion. And one of the comments he did mention for the next season, and because we have a season coming up in Chicago, for the Chicago season, he said there will be changes, and because they thought hiring a little bit older group range would be more mature. And he's like, nope. But he said that the Chicago season, they're going to have people who are actually there for marriage, and not these clowns that we had this season. Because everybody agreed it was the worst season. Past Married at First Sight couples are commenting on Instagram like, yo, this is terrible. This is terrible. All of them disrespected the process. All of them were deceitful. All of them were crazy, manipulative, rude, disrespectful, with the exception of Mike and Chloe. I'm mad that Mike and Chloe didn't make it, but with the exception of them, the other 8, it was just bad all around. So sorry guys, I had to get on here and do a rant on this, because I'm sorry, that pissed me off so much last night watching that. So I had to do this recap and just talk about Married at First Sight. Now, hopefully in the Chicago season, that should premiere in a couple months, because we need a break. After this Denver season, we need a break. So, and then I'll be ready for Chicago. But I'm hoping we don't have to have 25 episodes in the Chicago season. We don't need all them episodes. We only need 15 episodes of Married at First Sight, and then 2 parts of a reunion, and then the Where Are They Now. We don't need 25 episodes, acting in their life after decision day. Who cares? Who cares? Bring it back to the old days. Anyway, guys, that is the end of my rant. As y'all see, I'm all worked up and stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I will be back on Monday, Sunday and Monday to recap 90 Day Happily Ever After. So stay safe, y'all, and have a good one. Bye.